Kaprala, working in Municipal English Medium School, Narsapuram, West Godavari District, Andhra Pradesh. Today, we are going to discuss an interesting lesson, A Gift of Chappals, from Honeycomb English textbook for class 7. This story is written by Vasanta Surya. In this story, the author describes how innocently children donates a pair of chappals belonging to a music teacher to a beggar indeed, and the consequences that follows. Before entering the lesson, let's have a look at the overview of the lesson. Students, let's have a glance on the overview of the lesson. Overview, a gift of chappals. This lesson is basically divided into 8 parts. They are: before you read, a gift of chappals, comprehension check, working with the text, working with language, speaking and writing, the rebel poem, and working with the poem. Now, let's see the objectives of this lesson. Learning objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the main characters of the story: Ravi, Mridu, Meena, Party, Tata, Lali, music teacher, and beggar. Recognize the setting of the story as Madras, now called Chennai, and recognize the relationship between Mridu and her grandparents Tapi and Tata. Tell your personal opinion on the statement. Ravi tells Mridu that Mahendran is a descendant of the ancient Pallava kings and the Egyptian cat goddess Bastet. Choose appropriate words to describe the secret shared by Meena with Mridu in the backyard. Before getting into the lesson, let us see the various characters and the relationship among them. Knowing the characters involved in the story and the relationship among them makes us to follow the lesson with ease. The characters are Mridu, a young girl; Tapi, Mridu's grandmother; Tata, Mridu's grandfather; Rukumani, Mridu's aunt; Lali, Ravi and Meena, Mridu's cousins and Rukumani's children. Gopumama is Mridu's uncle and Rukumani's husband. Party, grandmother of Lali, Ravi and Meena. The other characters are music teacher and the beggar. Now, let us see the first activity of this lesson before you read. Now, let's see the activity before you read. Mridu is a young girl growing up in Madras, now called Chennai, with Tapi, her grandmother, and Tata, her grandfather. One afternoon, Tapi takes her to her aunt Rukumani's house to meet her cousins Lali, Ravi and Meena. Now, let's get into part 1 of the lesson, A Gift of Chappals. A Gift of Chappals, Part 1. Smiling Rukumani threw open the door. Ravi and Meena rushed out and Ravi pulled Mridu into the house. Mridu protested and said, "Wait, let me take off my slippers." She placed them neatly near a pair of large black ones. Those were grey, actually, with dust. You could see the clear mark of every toe on the front part of each slipper. The marks for two big toes were long and scrawny. Students, here are some new words. Now, let us see the meanings of some new words. You repeat after me. Protested, objected, scrawny, thin and bony. Dear students, now it's your turn. I'll ask you a question. Are you ready? Try to answer it. In what condition were the pair of chappals found? Option A, torn. Option B, quite small. Option C, covered with dust. And option D is new. Try to answer this question, students. The right answer is covered with dust. Students, now let's continue this. Ravi dragged Mridu to the backyard without giving her time to think about whose slippers they were. There, behind a bitterberry bush, a very small kitten was lying on a torn football lined with sacking and filled with sand. The kitten was lapping up milk from a half coconut shell. Students, here the word lapping up means taking in with tongue. Meena said, "We found him outside the gate this morning. He was mewing and mewing. It is a secret. Party will leave for Padumama's house if she knows about him." Ravi added, "People are always telling us to be kind to animals, but they scream when we are." Students, here the word scream means to cry loudly. Ravi arranged a little milk in a tumbler for the kitten with great difficulty. While bringing milk, he told Party that he was hungry and drank most of it to throw Party off the scent. Further, he said he would wash it himself without troubling her. Immediately after pouring the milk in the coconut shell, he put the tumbler back before she got suspicious. Students, here the word throw her off the scent means mislead her so that she won't understand the real purpose. Okay, students, now I am going to ask you a question. Try to answer it. Who arranged milk to the kitten? Option A, Ravi. Option B, Mridu. Option C, Meena. And option D is Party. What is the right answer, students? The right answer is Ravi. Well, students, now let's continue this lesson. Ravi named the kitty Mahendran. Mridu was impressed with the name. Ravi added, his full name is Mahendra Varma Pallava Pune. Short name is MP Pune. He is a fine breed of cat. His fur is like a lion's mane. He is a descendant from the ancient lion of Pallava's times, the emblem of Pallava's dynasty. Mridu giggled. He remarked, "It's clear you don't know a thing about the history." He went on with sparkling eyes, waving a twig up and down. I saw a statue of his ancestor in Mahabalipuram when our class went to Mahabalipuram. Cats were worshipped in ancient Egypt. Bastet was their goddess. Unable to understand the relevance, Meena and Mridu exchanged looks. Ravi continued. One of the descendants of that cat goddess was a stowaway in one of the Pallava ships. His descendant was the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. This kitten is the descendant of that Rishi cat. He was very pleased with himself. Students, here the word stowaway means someone who hides himself or herself in a ship or an aircraft to travel unnoticed. Now it's your turn, students. I'll ask you a question. Try to answer it. Whose short name is MP Pune? Option A, Ravi. Option B, Mahendran. Option C, Mridu. And option D, Meena. What is the right answer, students? The right answer is Mahendran. Well said, students. Now, let's continue this lesson. There was a screech from the window. Mridu was startled and MP Pune was frightened. The screeching sound continued. Upon her inquiry, Ravi told Mridu that Lali was learning violin. The music master's violin sound was good, while that of Lali's was terrible. Students, here the word startled means suddenly frightened. The part 1 of the story ends here. Students, let us try to answer some questions based on the text. What was the noise that startled Mridu and frightened Mahendran? Option A, the screeching sound of Lali's violin. Option B, the screeching sound of Lali's tabla. Option C, the screeching sound of Lali's guitar. And option D is the screeching sound of Lali's veena. The right answer is the screeching sound of Lali's violin. Now, let's move to the next activity. Students, let us do the activity working with the text. Complete the following sentences. Here is a sentence to you. Ravi compares Lali's playing the violin to. Try to complete this sentence, students. The answer for this sentence is a derailing train going completely off track. Students, try to complete the second sentence. Trying to hide beneath the tray of chilies, Mahendran. Answer for this is tipped a few chilies over himself and howled miserably. Students, now let us move to the next activity, comprehension check. In that, the first one is, what is the secret that Meena shares with Mridu in the backyard? Answer for this question is, the secret of the kitten they have found in front of their house and have kept in their backyard behind a bitter berry bush. Here the second one is, how does Ravi get milk for the kitten? Answer for this question is, Ravi brings milk from the kitchen in a tumbler, saying that he was hungry. He drinks most of it to avoid Party getting suspicious of him. He pours the rest of the milk in the half coconut shell for the kitten. Students, now see the third question. Who does he say the kitten's ancestors were? Do you believe him? Answer for this question is, Ravi says that the kitten's ancestors were the lion of the Pallava kings, the emblem of Pallava dynasty, and the Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. Now let us see the fourth question. What was the noise that startled Mridu and frightened Mahendran? Answer is, the noise that startled Mridu and frightened Mahendran was the creaking sound produced from Lali's violin while she was practicing music on it. Students, here the fifth one is, Ravi has a lot to say about Ampi Ponai. This shows that he is merely trying to impress Mridu. Second one is, his knowledge of history is sound. And the third one is, he has a rich imagination. And the fourth one is, he is an intelligent child. Which of these statements do you agree or disagree? Students, I agree with the first, second and third statements. He is merely trying to impress Mridu. And the second one is, his knowledge of history is sound. And the third one is, he has a rich imagination. Students, now let us see summary of A Gift of Chappals Part 1. This story is given in the textbook as 2 parts. In this video, we have seen Part 1. Before closing this lesson, let us recall the story of Part 1. As you know, this story is written in the backdrop of the village life of Tamil Nadu. Mridu from Chennai went to her Aunt Rukmani's house to meet her cousins Ravi, Meena and Lali, who reside in a village. Just after reaching, while going to the backyard along with her cousins, Mridu noticed a pair of old worn-out chappals. The author makes a mention of the chappals as they play an important role in the second part of the story. In the backyard, her cousins show Mridu a kitten saved by them. Here, the author depicted the imagining capacity of the children in naming and creating a story about the ancestors of the kitten. Then they have seen Lali's learning violin from her music master. Students, here the part 1 ends with the introduction of the character of the music master. The role of the music master in the story will be known in part 2. Students, I think you have enjoyed this lesson. Before we conclude this lesson, 10 questions are given in the next slide. They are meant to check your understanding of the lesson. Answer all of them, okay, and write in your notebook. Students, here are some questions for final assessment. The first one is, who were Tapi and Tata? Second question is, why did Tapi take Mridu to her aunt's house? Third question is, what is the secret that Meena shares with Mridu in the backyard? Fourth question is, how does Ravi get milk for the kitten? Fifth question, where was the kitten lying? And the last question is, imagine yourself and describe in your own words how may the music teacher look like. Children, hope you understood and enjoyed the lesson. I know that you will be able to answer all these questions very easily. Okay students, let's meet in part 2 of the lesson, A Gift of Chappals.